The abduction of Betty Andreasen Luca is considered one of the most documented cases in the history of UFOlogy. A woman from Massachusetts experienced several abductions, and her case was thoroughly investigated by UFO researchers. It became popular after the publication of the best-selling novel, The Anderson Affair, in the late 1970s. She participated in numerous radio television interviews discussing her encounter with gray aliens, and even drew sketches of the events. According to official reports, Betty was at home with her 7 children and parents on the evening of January 25, 1967, around 6:30 p.m. She was busy in the kitchen when the lights in the house started flickering. Strangely, soon after, a reddish beam of light hit the kitchen window and the electricity went out in the whole house. The children were startled by this, and Betty tried to calm them down. Her father looked outside to find the source of the light and saw 5 strange humanoid creatures walking straight towards the house. Before he could fully understand the situation, the creatures entered the house through the door, shocking the whole family. One of the creatures went to Betty's father, and the other 4 came to her, and one of them started talking to her telepathically. It was 5 feet tall, while the others were shorter than that. The description from the witnesses was similar to a modern image of gray aliens. They only had slits on their mouths, 3 fingers on one hand, and wore blue one-piece suits. Betty was scared, but at the same time she felt reassured by the friendly nature of the creatures. They did no harm to any family member and even freed her daughter from a state of unawareness. She was taken outside and lifted into the saucer-shaped small dome ship that stood in the backyard. It took off to rejoin the mothership, where Betty was subjected to medical tests and was under the effect of strange devices. She was later taken to some strange place where she felt a lot of pain, which she said was a spiritual experience. Later that night, Betty returned home at 10:40 p.m. and found her family still frozen and one of the aliens guarding them in her absence. Then the creatures put the family to bed and the aliens left. She also forgot about her abduction until she underwent hypnotherapy in later years. Betty said in some of her interviews that these beings were angelic in nature, but not biblical. She was a religious woman. She only had a little schooling and didn't understand much about UFOs. Only after this strange experience did she realize that everything she experienced that night was similar to a UFO abduction. In 1975, Dr. Alan J. Hynek placed an ad in a newspaper seeking information about abduction experiences, asking for help from ordinary people. Betty responded to his message by sending a letter, but it was rejected because of its unusual details. It was not until 1977 that her case was thoroughly investigated by experts including a solar physicist, an electronics engineer, an aerospace engineer, a telecommunications expert, and a UFO researcher. One investigator said, "I think the most amazing thing about Betty was her ability to draw the details of the spaceship and the beings